Hi friends, this is Carmen. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. My channel is all about balcony gardening with succulents and cacti and houseplants in an apartment setting. Today I'm going to be doing some staking of my Monstera Adansonii and my Raphidophora Tetasperma, which needs a bigger stake because it's growing like crazy. So I'm going to go through that and show you how I made also my moss pole. Okay, so let's get to it. So I turned the camera down a little bit so you can have a little bit better look at what I'm doing here. This is my Monstera Adansonii. I've had it for about, I want to say 3 months maybe. And I have propagated this because it was getting long and leggy, so these are the cuttings that I propagated off of it, and I have it on my bookshelf back here. It's in a little 4-inch pot in a little milk glass container, and I'd like for this one to grow and kind of trail down the bookshelf back here. Now this mother plant I had hanging in my balcony, in front of my balcony patio door, and it was hanging in this container here. But I'd like to stake it now, and although some of the remaining trails are a little bit short, I'd like to start training it now to be on a moss pole and hopefully get some bigger leaves out of it. So that's what we're gonna do. Now my Raphidophora Tetasperma here is on a moss pole, about a 2 foot, maybe a little bit longer moss pole, and let's see if I can get it in frame even. It's outgrown it tremendously. So what I'm going to do is take this moss pole out and put it in the Adansonii, and I made an even bigger moss pole for the Raphidophora Tetasperma Terry. Now what I did, and I'll show you some pictures here, I do have a video that shows you how I make my moss poles, and I'll leave it linked down below in the description box and also up here in the cards, okay? But basically what I did was I took 2 separate bamboo sticks and did a moss pole, basically leaving each end about 6 inches. Once I did that, then I combined 2 ends with some zip ties. I did 3 zip ties to hold it together. This baby's not going anywhere. It's holding on tight. And then I covered that portion with some more moss. Now I did leave the top portion here without moss because I thought even of making it a 3-tier moss pole, but no, okay, 2's enough for right now. But I left it open because at the rate that this Raphidophora Tetasperma is growing, I think sooner than later I'll need to add another section. So I can do the same procedure at that time, just add another bamboo stick right here, zip tie it, and add the moss. So that is what I'm going to add to my Raphidophora Tetasperma. So the first thing we need to do is remove this moss pole. Now, get some scissors here and my glasses on so I can see what I'm cutting. I have it held up with some twine. And I also use some greenery pens, some floral greenery pens, and I'll leave the link down below for these. Actually, You can get them on Amazon, but this pack I got at Dollar Tree for $1, and it's like 100 in them. So you can go that route too. And I'm actually going to use those to help me keep the Adansonii up until I can get the tape around it. Now, what I'm going to do now is remove this bamboo moss pole. I'm going to go wet it because I'd like to get this wet again. It's a little dry right now. You can see how much this baby's grown. I am so proud of her. So hold on tight and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have this moss pole all nice and damp. That's going to go in the Adansonii. While I have the Raphidophora here, let's go ahead and take this big baby and add it. I think I'm going to fill that little hole in and maybe put it a little bit closer, because I had it more close to, let me turn this, close to the pot edge. Just slide it right in there. Now, I always have some good rocks around to help hold that steady. Okay, so what you can do is go straight up, just right along the front part. But I had been training her to kind of wrap around because I wanted to take as much use of the moss pole. If I were to go straight up, it would use up more moss pole. If I were to wrap it, it would use as much. So I'm going to use some of the pins to temporarily hold it here, and they're more flexible than you think. But just gently, and I will take these greening pins out. So let me start adding tape. And this tape, this tape I got off of Amazon. I'll leave a link. It's just regular gardening tape. And you put the fuzzy side towards the plant. And watch the way that the leaves lay. You don't want to get them stuck underneath. Give it a little tug. Just get these rocks really from out here in my apartment complex, but I'm gonna need to put a couple more, like 4 around it, because this is tall, friends. But I don't want to propagate her yet, and I really want her to grow. So I think she's doing that just perfectly. So let me put her back, and I'll be showing you, we'll do the Adansonii, and then I'll show you both of them in their homes, where they're at. Okay, so let's do the Adansonii right now. And in looking at this, I've got a few that are short that I may just leave not attached to the pole. And I've got a few that are pretty long and are ready to start vining. So I'm going to try and separate those out, but it's doing a lot of growth. This one wasn't looking all that great when I brought her home from Lowe's, but she's definitely done a lot of nice growing since then. The way that it is in here, I'm thinking that I'm gonna need to put the pole right in the center, because these trails are a bunch of separate cuttings that were rooted and potted. It's not one whole plant. So when I repotted this, I realized that. So I'm not really hurting the roots when I go down in there, because I know it's all separate plants. So I'm going to do the same thing using the greenery pins to temporarily hold it, because there's so many. I know I'm going to have to adjust. So I'm going to start with this one that's a little bit longer. Looking at it, I think that I've got it staked up the way that I want right now, and the pole is secure. So I'm going to start adding the tape, and then I'll take the pins out. And this is going to be on the floor now. Oh, missed one here. This is going to be on the floor now in front of the Monstera Deliciosa, its cousin. So they'll be able to hang out there together. And I'm not going to put it back in that hanging basket. I can take the chains off and still use the basket, the plastic one. But I have a regular wicker basket I'm going to use. So let me go ahead and put them out there, and then I will show you where they're at. Okay, so I put the Raphidophora Tetasperma back in the same place it was, but now, look at you, girl. She's got more room to grow, and she already is. It's bright because I've got the grow light right here, but I've already have it set up to when she needs another extension, I'm ready to go to add another extension easily. Okay, so this method of a moss pole I think is really great for adding extensions. I know some moss poles, you know, you can stick them on the top of the other one. This is just my method. I like using bamboo. I like using real moss, sphagnum moss. And I've just started using, I used to use twine, but I've just started using the tape. I like it. I can see why people were using it. So let's go take a look at the Adansonii. So I placed the Adansonii right down here. She used to be up there next to these hanging plants, but now she's next to her cousin, Molly, the Monstera Deliciosa. So it's going to be right here. It gets nice bright light from this patio door right here, and it's got plenty of room on the moss pole to grow. And if she needs an extension, I'll be able to add that easily to her, but I think she'll be happy there. I'm hoping that she'll give me bigger leaves. So very easy to stake these. Very easy. And again, the link to how to make the moss pole is down below. If you want to watch that, it's very easy to do. Well, there you have it, friends. I hope that this video was helpful to you and it gives you some ideas and some inspiration on how to stake some of your vining plants that may have been trailing plants, but now you want to make them vining plants, and how do you make that moss pole. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, friends, please do give it a thumbs up. That helps me out so much. And make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. Have a blessed day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.